Because what you receive must be gratifying, otherwise you will reject it. So your desire, when you pray to, and thereby quieting the mind, is the result of the desire to solve a particular problem or a confusion or something which you have not solved, which gives you pain. Therefore you are seeking an answer which will be gratified. And reverse to that also is, because you say, I mustn't seek gratification, I will be open to something which will be painful. The mind is so capable of playing tricks upon itself that one must be aware of the whole content of this question of prayer. Still again, that's not meditation, is it? One has learned a trick, how to quieten the mind, which it can receive certain answers, pleasurable or not pleasurable. But that's not meditation, is it? To somebody, pouring out your love to God, to an image, to some saint, to some master. Is that meditation? Why do you pour out your love to God? That which you cannot possibly know. Why are we so attracted to the unknown and give our lives, our beings to that? This whole question of devotion, does it not indicate that being so miserable in our own lives, having no right relationship with other human beings, we try to project ourselves into something, into the unknown, and worship the unknown? You know, those people who are devoted to somebody, to some god, to some image, to some master, are the generally most cruel people, obstinate. They are intolerant of others. They are willing to destroy others, verbally as well as physically, because they have so identified themselves with that image, with that master, with that experience. So again, the outpouring of devotion to an object, self-created or created by another, is surely not meditation. So what is meditation? If none of these things are meditation, discipline, concentration, prayer, devotion, then what is meditation? Those are the forms which we know, with which we are familiar. But to find out that which is not, with which we are not familiar, we have to be free of these things of which we are familiar, haven't we, first? If this is not true, then they must be set aside. you are capable of finding out what is right meditation, or isn't it? If we have been accustomed to the false value, to find out the new value, the old values must they not? Not because I say so, because you think it out, feel it out. Therefore, if it is not these, and they have gone, what have they left? What is the residue of your examination of these things? Do they not reveal the process of your own thinking? Really? If you have indulged in these things, and you see that they are false, you find out why you have indulged. And therefore, the very examination of these things reveals the way of your own thinking. Therefore, the examination of these is the beginning of self-knowledge, is it not? So, meditation is the beginning of self-knowledge. Without self-knowledge, you may sit in a corner, meditate on the masters, develop virtues. They are illusions. And they have no meaning for the person who really wants to discover what is right meditation. Because without self-knowledge, you will project yourself, an image, call it the master. And that becomes your object of devotion, for which you are willing to sacrifice, build, destroy. Therefore, through self-knowledge, and you can have this possibility of self-knowledge only as we examine our relationship to these things which I have explained. Then it reveals the process of your own thinking. Therefore there is a clarity in your own being. And therefore there is the beginning and the understanding of self-knowledge. Without self-knowledge there can be no meditation. And without meditation there can be no self-knowledge. Not shutting yourself up in a corner, sitting in front of a picture, developing virtues, month by month, different virtues each month, green, purple, white, and all the rest of it. Or going to churches and performing ceremonies. None of those things are meditation, or really spiritual life. Spiritual life begins in the understanding of relationship, which is the beginning of self-knowledge. Now, when you have gone through that and have abandoned all those processes which only reveal the self and its activity, then there is a possibility of the mind not only being superficially quiet, but inwardly quiet. That there is the cessation of all demand. There is no pursuit of sensation. There is no sense of becoming, myself becoming something in the future or tomorrow. The master, the initiate, the pupil, the Buddha, climbing the ladder of success, becoming something. All that has stopped, because all that is implied in the process of becoming. And that becomes, there is a cessation of becoming only when there is the understanding of what is. And the understanding of what is is shown through self-knowledge, of what one is exactly. And then, when there is the cessation of all desire, it can only come through self-knowledge, when the mind is quiet. The cessation of desire cannot come through compulsion, through prayer, through devotion, through concentration. All these merely emphasize the conflict of desire and the opposite. And when there is a cessation of all this, then the mind is really still. Not only the superficial mind, the higher levels of the mind, but inwardly, deeply. Then only is it possible for it to receive that which is immeasurable. The understanding of all this is meditation, not just one part of it. Because if we do not know how to meditate, we will not know how to act. Action, after all, is self-knowledge, in relation. And merely to shut yourself in a sacred room with incense burning, reading phrases of other people's meditations and their significance is utterly useless. Has no meaning. It's a marvelous escape. But to be aware of all this human activity, which is ourselves, the desire to attain, the desire to conquer, the desire to have certain virtues, all emphasizing the me as important. In the now or in the future, this becoming of the me, being aware of all that in its totality is the beginning of self-knowledge and the beginning of meditation. Then you will see, if you are really aware of this, there comes a marvelous transformation, which isn't a verbal expression, which isn't a verbalization, merely repetition, which is sensation, but actually, really, vigorously that takes place. A thing which cannot be named, which cannot be termed. And that is not the gift of the few, not the gift of the masters, or few people have it. Because self-knowledge is possible for everybody. If you are willing to experiment, try. You don't have to join any society and read any book or be at the feet of any master. The stupidities of human invention. Through self-knowledge and right meditation,